Hello, everyone. Um, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the future, about us moving towards AI. In case y'all didn't notice, the Matrix is crumbling. I don't have a better way to say that. So, for some people who refuse to believe that we're in a Matrix, right now, it's glitching. It's glitching and it's obvious, and to people who know, then they know, and the people who don't are just going crazy. Everything that's happening right now with COVID, everything that's happening with a lot of social injustice, it's all a distraction to keep you. It's all a distraction. It's all meant to keep your eyes off of what's really going on. Like, there's no way that anybody's taking all of this presidency seriously. It's just not serious. It's never been more of a joke like it is right now. It's never been more of a joke. We're shifting towards sorry about that. We're shifting towards AI. There's a lot of reasons why I say that. So we've already been conditioned to do so. So I don't know, over the past decade or whatever with cell phones, in case you haven't noticed, they develop and they develop and they develop. Like, I remember, when I was in high school, nobody had a cell phone and I was the only one that had one. And I wasn't supposed to have one, but I had one anyway. And it's like that sometimes. But I was the only one that had one. And now it's like you can get one cheap, you can get one for free, you can get prepaid, you can get a plan and all of that kind of stuff. Cell phones became readily available, and so did applications. So did smartphones. Like, it just happened like that smartphones available, and then applications start happening. These applications ask for permissions, and a lot of times people are so busy trying to play the games and trying to do everything that the applications offer, that no one even pays attention to the permissions that they're asking for, and how they often don't have anything to do at all with the actual game. Excuse me. And so you have these apps asking permission to view your contacts. You have apps that ask permission to view your text messages, to view your photographs. There's so much over and over again that it asks permission to view, right? And we don't pay attention. We just hurry up and download it and start using the app without really paying attention. Like, within the past couple of years, Google, when you're writing an email, it will try to write the email for you. We're moving towards AI, and we have helped. The public has helped, or the everyday human being has helped AI be developed in the most intricate of ways, because if they can continue your email, that means they know your thought process, right? They know exactly what it is that you're about to say. If y'all ever watched, I like watching sci-fi, and one of my favorite shows I really like is Humans. It's a British show, and it basically becomes a sense of synthetics against humans, since that synthetic rights versus human rights. And the synthetics, if y'all don't know about that stuff, they're robots that look human, they act human, they do what humans do, but however, they're not humans. In the show, the creator who made the synthetics and got all rich and famous and stuff, he actually created 6 synthetics. He created 6 synthetics with another experiment and gave them human emotions. So they're able to get angry, they're able to get happy, they're able to get sad, they have memory. Excuse me. They're able to do all of that stuff. And the reason that, if people don't put two and two together, the reason that synthetics are going to be able, or are able rather, they already exist, it's just, not available to the average public because it's very, very expensive. But the reason that they're able to do what they do is because the fact that we've created it, we participated in the creation of it. And so now it's almost like I can see it played out like a map, because I started having these weird kind of dreams a few years ago, and it's like heightened now. But I don't like sharing all of them just because I don't like fear mongering, and I think that's one of the, I don't know, I feel like it's annoying when people fear monger, because everything is not meant to be in your control. You're here to control you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't control what's going to happen in the future. There's nothing that you can change. All you can do is be the best version of you. Do what your soul's here to do. You can't control everything. But what I can see happening, like a map, like rolled out before our eyes, is the fact that these distractions are heavy. I don't watch the news, and I don't, how old am I? I'm 33. I've been living outside of my parents' house since the age of 19. I've never paid for cable, and for a long time that meant I did not watch TV until, streaming became a thing, and you could stream more than a movie. So what I view and the way I consume media is different from people who have been watching TV all of their lives. People who watch TV 24/7 just don't miss a beat. They consume media very differently than someone who barely watches it, or someone who streams here and there. For me, TV is not a pastime. It's just not. It never has been. We ourselves, our minds work like a computer. We are computers. We little mini ones. We already are synthetic in a sense, I guess. We just have human emotions, human wants, human desires, and all of that kind of stuff. But they model these things after us to replace us, and they're replacing us because it's the next level of evolution for our species. Right now, in the media, they're pushing social injustice. They're pushing racial injustice. But the change isn't what you think the change is going to be. At all. Like, the more I think about it, I don't know how people don't see it happen, but I guess if you're so used to consuming, because you have people who have replaced TV time with social media, and people can't put down their phones. They cannot stop holding their phones and being, sucked in by what someone else posts. You do realize with social media that not everybody's real, right? That there are agents, there are actual synthetic and robots. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a text message and it made me lose my thought. There are actual synthetic and robots that are made to follow you on social media, and then you have people who just troll and spam and all kinds of stuff like that. There's so much out there that isn't real. It distorts reality all the time, and people are blind to the fact that you might be black, and you might post your real picture and as your avatar, and then you're looking at someone else's avatar and assuming that they're also black. Or even better, with these times, people are assuming that someone else's avatar is white because they put some racist bullshit. All they want is your energy. All they want is for you to be distracted. All they want is for you to be sucked in. within the next, I would really say within the next 10 years from now, the human species, we're destined to be destroyed. If it's not by sickness, it's by famine. They're trying to incite a civil war inside of this country to get us to kill ourselves off because COVID didn't do what it was supposed to do in the numbers that they wanted it to do. And so if it's scientifically proven, if you're sitting around with a whole bunch of fear and sickness and fear of sickness, guess what you're going to get? Sickness. Some people take all of that and they throw it in this bucket called New Age, and they throw out what it actually means. Everything that you think is a thought, and it manifests into this universe. And so they want you constantly repeating these chants of Black Lives Matter and stop killing us and we can't breathe and wear your mask and obey, obey, obey. That's what they want. They want you to think that the person next to you that doesn't look like you is your enemy. They want you to think that the person who looks like you is your enemy. It makes their job easier. As we continue to point fingers at each other and victimize each other, all we're doing is like going into survival mode. If you really, really, really believe that, everyone has their role to play, so I don't judge people because everybody has their role to play. Everybody has a role to play. But I think that COVID was definitely made to destroy the elderly. And that, I felt like it was fishy from the get-go, and I felt like it was about population control. But I happened to speak with an elderly woman at my job who said that, they told her that her test was negative, but she knew that it was positive. Like, she said that she had every symptom. She felt terrible. And she just literally said that she felt like she was going to die. Like, she was not even breathing at 100%, and they sent her home and told her that there wasn't nothing wrong with her, that it was in her head, that it was psychosomatic symptoms. And she was like, how's it psychosomatic when they just buried my neighbor yesterday? And she's like, she lived in like a senior apartment complex thingy, like 55 and up. And she's like, if I didn't know any better, I would think that the government came here and like sat it on our doorstep. That's how many people got it out there in our neighborhood. And so I think that it was meant to attack them, and then of course take down whoever else they can afford to take down. It's about population control. They need the population to be lowered in order for AI to be ushered in, because we're going to need a savior, right? It's about to get real, and it's about to get real, but I feel like people are too distracted to see in which ways that it's about to get real. Like, we all get so easily distracted by every little thing, and this election is a big part of the distraction. There's a lot going on, and people should have been able to see from the get-go that this president that we had, this is the first time that a businessman with no political experience whatsoever is elected as president. It's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of, it's the end of what the government has represented all of this time for us. Everything is about you being controlled, and people are really concerned about, the mark of the beast. You don't need a mark of the beast. You don't need a chip inserted. You carry your phone around everywhere with you. Everyone knows who you are and what you do. I bet you they can tell you what you ate for breakfast. You got a camera on your phone. You got cameras on your TVs. You got cameras on your laptops. Camera. Recording like this phone is doing right now. I don't need to press record in order for what I say for it to be heard. Whenever I send a text message, whenever I'm speaking on the phone to someone, damn if an ad doesn't appear with something that I spoke about. You're always being listened to. You're always being followed. There's no necessity at all for anyone to be forced to vaccinate. There's no necessity at all for anyone to be forced to have any chip and stuff inserted to say, oh, I have COVID or don't have COVID. It's all bullshit. There's no necessity of all of that. Whatever happened to HIPAA and your Privacy Act, no matter what your disease is. What I've seen in my dreams, that I said I don't want to promote fear mongering, but what I see in my dreams is such desperation in the future that it causes mass. When the truth really starts to come out, I feel like it's going to cause mass suicide. But what I wanted to say about that is the fact that I think I spoke before. I think I did. I don't remember what video it was because I don't have that kind of memory. I don't remember what video it was, but I think that I spoke before about the fact that the reason we incarnate is because we don't ascend. Or excuse me, reincarnate is because we don't ascend. In other words, if your soul isn't ascending, because you're not completing your soul's mission and stuff like that, then you're recycled right back in here. You're reincarnated. But if the truth comes out and people realize that this is a matrix and they unplug, once you realize that this is a matrix and it's assimilated reality and stuff, what you coming back to play the game for? It's a video game, right? It's basically a video game. And it stops the process of soul reincarnation. If we ascend to a 5D earth, it stops life as we know it. And that's absolutely terrifying for some people to come upon that truth. Whereas someone like me, for people who are waking up, I guess, who've had the opportunity, I would say, to wake up gently, because it's going to be abrupt for so many people, especially people who've been programmed by television and all this stuff. It's going to be abrupt waking up, and they're not going to be able to deal with it. Like, it's one thing to know a little bit, it's another thing to know nothing and get totally, shocked by the information that will be presented with soon. It's just something to think about, because not to be fear-mongering, but a lot of the stuff that they teach us about population control and all of that kind of stuff, they're just trying to control the population. We're not overpopulated. There's not enough place to live. There's plenty of home vacancies. There's plenty of food. There's plenty of shelter. There's plenty of our necessities right here. Food is thrown out all the time, created and thrown out. Food, we have so much food that they have enough food to be bleaching and making chemical and fake food out of and all kinds of stuff, when you could have just ate the original food that it was. That drives me nuts. Processed food drives me crazy. What the world y'all do all of this stuff to the food? Just eat it. Body don't even know what to do with that, and everybody's sick. But anyway, it's obvious that, strings are being pulled, that there's, other things happening under the scene. And so it's good to be vigilant and to stay prayed up for the souls and the spirits that are unaware, and to just not hold any attachments, because that is what keeps us here. Recently, I'm about to wrap up, but recently someone was talking about the laws of Ma'at, of how, with the laws of Ma'at, that oh my God, I can't remember what deity is weighing it there, but your heart's being weighed against a feather, and that if it's lighter than the feather, then you're good to go, and if it's not, you're back in, you're reincarnated back into this world. And the only reason that we're reincarnated back, the only reason we keep recycling like this, is because we make attachments. And in other words, the ego makes attachments, whether it be to our occupation, to our family, to vices like drugs. That's a big reason why drugs are pushed so much. Alcohol, whether it be other carnal things and stuff like that, that we get attached to this realm. But what about when it's destroyed and there's no realm to be attached to? But I'm just thinking. Have a good one.